MeTV 24 Meridian proudly presents your favorite way to start the day. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
And good morning, Scotty Ray and Candace on a lovely Tuesday morning.
Good morning.
How you feel?
I don't know.
Week
I'm
two.
functioning. I don't know that I'm functioning at 100%, but
And I think if you were to talk to anybody that's had this, that they would agree that it's a slow before you become yourself again.
I feel better. I just don't feel good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
she's cootie free, y'all. You can't catch anything through the
I got the big hair
TV.
this morning. I don't know. It's like my hair grew 2 inches. I don't know.
Static electricity is what that's called.
I guess.
Even I, with little hair, wake up occasionally with that. Ning.
Do you?
Yeah. You ever got in a car and the headliner makes your hair stick to the roof of it?
Well, yeah. I mean, my hair, I get static in my hair in the wintertime.
One day you're going to have big hair again. It's coming. I'm starting to see a little growth.
It's coming. It's getting a little bit longer.
So how'd your evening go? Anything big yesterday?
No. I mean, I just kind of laid around yesterday. I really didn't feel like doing anything. It was a lot of stuff I needed to be doing, but I just didn't feel like it. So
You can postpone a few things. I agree with that. Well, after we got off the air yesterday, I had an opportunity to run to downtown Meridian. And if you're not aware of it, Meridian is going to be celebrating its big anniversary. The birthday of Meridian, February 10th, is when it was incorporated in 1860. That was right before the big war. And, of course, what all made Meridian what it was the railroad. And coming soon, and let's go over here and take a look at this. Let's pull up Facebook here, and let me show you some pictures. And I'll show you the little clip that we did yesterday. This was downtown from the press conference. Wonderful thing that they're going to be doing. And I've got it right here as to all the things that are going to have different storytelling. Kind of like it's a walking history is what it's called. And as we go through the pictures here, here's some of the ladies and gentlemen that will take part in that. And I think the audio from this will play. Let's see here.
Our Rosehill storytellers are part.
Okay, it's not coming through as loud as I thought it would there. It plays good on that. But she talks about what the storytellers are going to be doing. And let me see here. Here's some of the things that will take place. Let's see. The last two men hanged in the Lauderdale County Courthouse. They'll be talking about being hung up there. Woo!
Oh, goodness.
That was spooky. Also, the great Choctaw chief, Pushma Taha, will be at Dumont Plaza. The burning of Meridian in 1864. Dr. Alan Brown will be there telling ghost stories. And we've got a bunch of that. Temple Theater is going to be somebody there. All types of different appearances. The Buffalo Soldier, they say, is going to be great. So February 10th is when all of this will take place as we celebrate the history of Meridian. This is the first time it's ever been done.
Okay.
And if you've ever had a chance to go to Livingston, Alabama, it's real similar to what Alan does with the ghost stories in Livingston, Alabama, the walking ghost story through town.
Yeah.
I had a blast at that last year.
That would be neat to see, even though I don't like ghosts.
Oh, it didn't get scary. I always lag behind everybody when they're telling ghost stories and make noises. It spooks the rest of everybody up front.
It kind of scares everybody.
Yeah. Let's see here. Some other reports yesterday. And let's move up to this. Let me show this. Maybe you were minding your own business, and the next thing you know, a bunch of cop cars went whoosh in front of your house. Matter of fact, let's cut over here and show this. This will come back up. Here we go. No, it did not, did it? Where does it say play again? No, story through town.
Yeah, that's see all kind of things on these little
here it is
ring cameras.
And that is the popo after somebody doing something they should not. Lights were bright, and that was the Drug Task Force is who that was. Ford F-150 with little lights everywhere. Yeah, that's who's after you. From what I understand, there'll be more information on this today, but I think there were 2 arrests made, possibly a gun recovered from it, and a trip downtown, as we'll find out more about that. There was a couple warrants and other things that went on, and tons of traffic violations, I'm sure, as they went through stop signs without stopping.
Yeah.
That's naughty.
Yeah, those little back road, little streets in the back, in the city. I mean, that can be dangerous. You fly through those.
Yeah, and this was just off of 8th Street on Davis Street is where all this took place. So don't be doing stuff like that. But
That's right.
that's what went on yesterday. We expect some more information coming out on that today. Overnight, I don't think anybody was hurt from what I understand, but there was a fire at the 3900 block of 40th Avenue. The Meridian Fire Department done a great job getting out and containing the fire and getting it taken care of. No one was hurt to my knowledge.
Thank goodness.
So that is good.
Yeah.
Also, I got a report, and things like this that happen in the area, I have witnessed it before. I didn't last night. No one was hurt. Let me say this, but it was reported somebody going down the interstate on the wrong side, as in going the opposite direction. And
Yeah, that's scary. I've witnessed that happening before. Of course, it was like after they had changed,
somebody got confused.
right. People weren't used to it, and scary though. Yeah.
But I can see, especially in cities that you're not familiar with, like if you're out of town and stay in a hotel and you think, I need to go get something to eat.
Especially in this town, because everything,
One way.
right. Everything went to one-way streets, it seemed like years ago. I wish they would change it back to just two-way.
Yeah, because
I can't stand when I miss a turn and then I got to go around 2 blocks to get back to where I was, or
we're population 40,000.
Yeah.
We're not 200 here. We can still work it out the old way there. Have you been down 22nd Avenue lately as you come over the bridge?
Yeah, we came that way the other night. A lot of work going on.
Yeah, it is some construction there, and expect delays as you do that. And of course, businesses, just be patient with them, all of them along 22nd Avenue as this is fixed.
Yeah, we were there. It was late in the evening, so there wasn't any traffic. But I can imagine at lunchtime how it would be.
Yeah, at night it's not so bad there. But that's one of the things that are going on throughout the community. We got that. Let's see here. That kind of handles most of the things that went on overnight. Now, I have gotten some reports of this, and I've been in there one time, I hate to say. I just don't use it a lot. Have you ever parked inside the parking garage, that new one?
Yes, I have.
We went to something over at the Riley Center one night and used it one time. But there have been some, and I want to call them teenagers that have been up there with spray cans, spray painting the walls. And naughty, naughty, naughty. So we're hoping that they find out who this is and notify their parents to where they won't do this again. And maybe they'll get to come out and clean the wall that they spray painted.
Yeah, that would be good. Make them clean it up.
And I think that's important.
People just don't appreciate. I mean, especially... And I guess it's not always young people.
No,
I mean, there's
not.
some adults that could care less,
And we've seen this nationwide where they'll go in with paint and do statues and buildings. And we've seen it downtown Meridian, too.
Right, on the buildings.
That just isn't nice. No. So we don't want our city to become a place like New York where it's just graffiti all over the place and, paper and trash all over the place.
Yeah, just disrespecting the city.
Tell you this, and I've been there 3, 4, 5 times. That movie 1883, the new one that's out that has Sam Elliott, Tim McGraw, and Faith Hill. They filmed that in a little town called Granbury, Texas, on the other side of Dallas, Texas. I've been there. I have never stepped foot in a town that you did not see a bubblegum wrapper on the ground.
Oh, really?
Those citizens of that town, if something hits the ground, somebody stops and picks it up and puts it in a garbage can. It is like, you ain't doing it.
Yeah.
So if you ever get a chance to visit that little town, it is really what I would call a star, what am I looking for here, of cleanliness of a great little small town. But I enjoyed my visit there.
When was that? Is that like a while back?
About 2 years ago I was there. It was the last time I was there.
So have you been watching the show?
Haven't watched any of that.
I watched a few of them, and I guess I'm confused. I don't know. I guess because it was coming on after Yellowstone on Paramount. Mm-hmm. And then when Yellowstone ended the season, I guess it quit coming on. Or something.
You have to go somewhere else to watch it.
I'm not doing all that. And I feel like that would hurt their ratings.
You would think.
I mean, because people don't want to have to
you don't have to search. Yeah.
Right. I know that's lazy sounding, I guess.
No, that's just facts of how it works. But I watched about 10 minutes of it. I have not seen any other. I saw the scene where Sam Elliott and Tim McGraw are sitting at the bar and he's eating a steak. That's all I saw.
Okay.
but I've heard that it was good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it really is. It's a little disturbing to me, but I mean, just listening to the stuff that happened, because they go through like smallpox, and I mean, they go through stuff that actually happened back then. You know, if somebody got sick, they cast you out of the town.
Yeah.
You know, if you had something that you're going to give everybody else, get on, you know.
Yeah. They used to even do criminals that way. Maybe we need to go back to that. You're banished if you. That's the way it used to be done. LaWanda Grantham said, if you'll notice some of the graffiti on the railroad cars, there's some very talented artists out there. And I do agree with that. And if you'll notice what's going in Meridian, I've seen a lot of help me pronounce it correct. Murals, is that right? Is that how you say that word?
Murals, yeah, murals.
Yeah. That's a tough word for me to say. But if they would use their talent to do things of that nature, it wouldn't be considered graffiti, and it would make the town look good. That's my thoughts. And anybody else have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I think murals are really neat. I used to love to draw and paint and stuff. So,
well, like in Nashville, the bar that has that. Let me say the word again.
Murals.
That word with the country legends on it. And if your picture makes it onto that, you're somebody.
Yeah.
And be pretty neat to have something like that in Meridian of the Legends Corner.
It would,
so to speak.
It would. Be
Yeah.
neat.
Ron Troy, good morning. Glad to see you joining us as well. We want to thank each and every one of y'all for being a part of this. If you've never watched before, welcome. You can watch us on television and communicate with us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and I think there's about 4 other places that we're live also that I'm not remembering here. But there's multiple avenues to watch us and communicate with us as we're live and pass along the good word across the U.S. and the Meridian area.
That's right. You can ask us questions or just make comments.
We were talking this morning before you got here on our first broadcast about cold temperatures. And I want to say I snapped a picture of this so I wouldn't forget it here, if I can find it here, of some of the degrees of where it's been really cold. 19 in Missouri. April Roberts was watching from Missouri this morning. 19 degrees there, she said, as she was getting up.
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
And as we looked at some of the temperatures across North Dakota, it was well below like negative 12 degrees up in the Dakotas. That's some different types of country out there. Now, be prepared. We're sitting at 45, 46 right now. Tonight, it's burr weather again. 28 degrees is what you're headed for.
Goodness. I was hoping that it would kind of stay
Oh, no. We can't have that.
decent.
By tomorrow, you'll get back about 48, I think, is what that. Matter of fact, let me just quit guessing here and show you exactly what's going to be happening here. Here's our temperatures of what we're expected over the next few days. 28 tonight. Yeah, and it gets even worse. 48 for a high tomorrow. 26 tomorrow night, Candace.
Goodness.
This is that where you better get along with your spouse because you're going to need them to keep warm. By Friday night, we're sitting at a low of 24 degrees. So we have a very, very cold week ahead of us here in Mississippi and Alabama.
I'm ready for some spring. I know that's a while away, but
Yeah, it is.
I can't wait.
Even April, you'll be a little bit chilly. It'll be about that May. You'll start seeing some things come about in March, and then it'll get killed
Yeah.
by the cold weather. It always happens.
I hope it doesn't, though. Gosh. You know, everything was so confused because it kept going back and forth to warm to cold, warm to cold. Stuff was starting to bloom, and, you know, then, of course, the cold killed it all. So.
It's like a woman with hormone issues here with the weather. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I bet y'all do.
Mother Nature is hormonal.
Oh, that seems to happen a lot. Yeah. Good morning. We hope you're having a great day, and thank you again for joining us. We certainly appreciate that. Let's talk about our friends down at the Farm Supply. They're one of our sponsors that have been with us since day one. And I tell you what, they open up at 7:30 every day and bring you a little bit of everything as we do get ready for spring and start thinking of that. Make sure that your plants are ready to go, as you've got plenty of pine straw to take care of any plants you've got in the yard to keep them all nice and warm. And your heads, we've looked at this several times here, toboggans. Very, very affordable. One size fits all. No matter how big old head you got, they got one that'll fit you there.
Yeah.
As well as socks. If you got big feet, little feet, they got it all for you there. We'll call it the little feet corner there. As we go through this, of course, any type of shirt that you're looking for, work pants and overalls. And, of course, we got the bibs. If you're going to be outside working, you need to move your arms. They've got that along with jeans and hats and things of that nature. And for the working man, those work boots to keep your feet dry and comfortable on top of it. Whether you need mud boots or just a good, comfortable work boot with a steel toe, they got those also. See how affordable it is. And as we wind down deer season, still anything that you're looking for when it comes to hunting. Yep. Always use your cameras as security cameras as well. See them? They'll show you all around. Corn. Oh, if you're taking care of your horse and cattle, they got that also. Anything that deals with, well, farming in your home, they carry it at Lauderdale County Farm Supply, including pets and guns and ammo. That kind of wraps it all up. They have it all. See them at the Farm Supply today, exit 151.
On June 30th, 2021, the FDA alerted the public that Phillips recalled certain CPAP devices due to concerns regarding its polyester-based polyurethane sound abatement foam. This is a Class 1 recall, the most serious type of recall. Use of these devices may cause serious injuries or death. If you're diagnosed with long-term, permanent, and life-threatening health complications, your illness may be linked to your use of a Phillips breathing device, and you may be entitled to compensation. Call Richard Swartz & Associates for a case evaluation today.
And good morning to everyone. As Angela White joins us, Linda Culpepper said, March wind, April showers bring May flowers. Mm-hmm. That is, I hadn't heard that in a while. Thanks for reminding me. Appreciate that. I brought this up also this morning. Is these surveys, this was done in Florida, and surveys are just what they are, a survey of people that probably ain't from here.
Right.
And I use the word ain't influential, like I know what I'm talking about. But a Florida company done a survey of the best state to raise your family in. They're number 1 and 2 slot. They put Massachusetts as the number 1 place to raise your family. That is, if they ever got out of the cold weather and could get to a car to go to the store. Number 2, they ranked as the best place to raise your family would be New York State, not New York City.
Okay, that's what I say. When you said New York a while ago, when we were talking about it, I was like, New York, really?
But New York has some beautiful places, but they ranked Mississippi as the very last awful place in the United States to raise your family, and I totally disagree with that. I mean, there's folks that got to live in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Are you?
I disagree with that too, though.
I mean, if you lived in Utah, I mean, how many wives would you have to have? It's back me up on this, because I only know that show. Sister Wives, and I got 5 wives, and one of them just divorced me. Mm-hmm. Is that legal in that state or not?
What is that, polygamy? Is that what that's called?
I know they do it. I mean, there's a bunch of preachers up there that have several wives because they kind of like believe it. But
I don't know.
Is it legal?
Maybe it is in that state. I don't know. I can't imagine why you'd want to live that way. But,
where's the husband at? Oh, he's at wife number 7. Just wait your turn.
You know, those wives have got to bicker back and forth. I mean,
you would think.
Mm-hmm.
He can't be that.
I can't see that working out for him. But.
And here's my next question. Do they live off the state? I mean, does he honestly make enough to have 4, 5, 6, 7 wives and then support each child? It does all you can to pay for 2. How could you...
You know, those poor kids, they're probably so confused, living in the South. That's just, I don't know. This world is so twisted right now. It's
if
crazy.
you ain't careful, you date your cousin or your half. I mean, it just seems like, and look, let's back up. Let's go ahead and poke some fun at ourselves while we're at this. In the old South, it was traditional that you married your first cousin. We all know that because they thought if you went outside your bloodline, you'd get something bad up in it, and it wasn't going to be good. Well, it turns out it wasn't good to mix your own blood.
Is it like double this and what do they call them, double first cousins and all this kind of stuff?
That's how that all came about. But it was a tradition in the South. Marry that first cousin. Arkansas might still... Oh, I'm picking on y'all. Arkansas is just always fun to pick on. But no offense to anybody in Arkansas. But that's a list of what's being said this morning. Right. As we all watched news clips from yesterday.
Yeah, this just, I mean, I can't believe that he would say this on national television, but,
We're talking Uncle Joe.
We are talking about Joe Biden. So.
And Joe called a Fox News reporter a very ugly name. And the reporter, as I watched him, he goes, somebody told me about it. And he goes, did he use initials or... I go, oh, no. He called you the real nasty thing.
Yeah.
The full...
Yeah.
So that did happen. Now we find out that about an hour after it happened, Uncle Joe did pick up the phone and call him. He did not exactly apologize, but he did say, hey, bud, hey, man, hey, let's say, hey, man.
Yeah.
we got to just move forward after this. Yeah. No hard feelings. I was just talking.
Can you imagine, though, if Donald Trump had done that?
Oh.
I mean, can you really? It would have never been not talked about.
I know.
I mean, it would have been a constant.
Headline everywhere you went.
He would have been the worst person in the world, you know.
So Uncle Joe done that yesterday.
But I kind of felt bad for that Peter Ducey. You know, his dad is on Fox and Friends in the morning.
You're kidding. I did not make the
that's his dad, the older guy on Fox and Friends.
Does the cookbooks.
Yeah.
Because Angie brought it up. I said, "You talking about the guy on Fox and Friends?" And she goes, "No, not him." And I thought, well, I swear I thought that was his name.
That's his daddy.
Well.
I can't remember what his...
Steve?
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, that would be aggravating to me if it was somebody said something like that.
Now, let me just say that. How do you pronounce his last name again?
Ducey. That's how they say it.
You ever sit back and wonder how somebody got their last name? I often do that when I'm scanning through things and you see a last name and you think, it's a little peculiar.
Yeah, it is different. I'm sure people make fun, you know.
But there had to be a beginning of time to where, used to they would give you names dealing with the trade of work that you done possibly to give you a last name when it all began, before family lines began. And I'm going to stop there before I get tickled at my own self at some of these names that are out there.
Goodness. He is a good reporter, though, I will say. He asks really good questions. And I just thought that was kind of, it was tacky. I'm just going to say it was tacky for our president of the United States to say that on national television. But then again, he's not known for his class. So
that's true. Arena Bonner says she ain't run up on her first cousin yet that she'd like to marry. I brought this up also earlier. Neil Young, who is threatening to call up Spotify and have all of his music removed from Spotify because they have Joe Rogan on there. And as I simply said this morning, a Southern man don't need him around anyhow. I couldn't identify one Neil Young song if I had to, nor would I want to. Yeah. So I give it the who cares test. Oh, yeah, we don't. Yeah. Do what you got to do there, Neil. Let's see here. I brought this up also. A soldier, it turns out, as we found out, committed suicide. And let me pull up his dad's picture. You will probably remember him as I brought this up. He was in the last season of 24 with Jack Bauer. This is the dad. He's an actor. And his son, as we go back up and look at the picture, this is his son, committed suicide from a gun, is what they are telling us now. That happened yesterday. I kept seeing the headline of a soldier committed suicide, and that turns out that's what it was. So condolences to the family. We don't know what happened or why.
Right. It's so sad.
It is. 7 sailors were hurt yesterday, and you would have to... I've watched only movies. I have never been on an aircraft carrier. But from the air, if you look at the pictures of a cockpit of a plane landing, it looks like an ant. But actually, while you're on there, that thing is huge. But a F-35 was attempting to land yesterday. The pilot had to parachute out. The plane crashed on the deck. 7 sailors were hurt. No one seriously, to my knowledge. Everyone's alive. Everybody's going to be okay. But 3 had to be transported to a hospital off of the flight deck. So that had to be scary.
Oh, yeah.
This was in the China.
Where do you go? I mean, you don't have anywhere to go when you're on one of those carriers.
Out in the China Sea. Ooh. Now, as we keep going, this is a headline this morning. Odd, very peculiar, but a woman was at Walmart and offered $500,000 to another woman for a baby. Cops were called, got involved.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy. Yeah, that's Walmart, America.
Yeah. That's just, people have lost their minds.
It is. Now, this is everywhere you turn right now. 8,500 troops are on standby. Now, let's back up and think about this. Ukraine. The Ukraine president yesterday sent a message to Joe, and it made me laugh with nothing else. As we evacuate the embassies, they're telling them to get out, but I think you got to find your own way out. They're not flying people out for some reason that I don't understand why. But the Ukraine president told Biden that his country was safer than the streets of L.A. He may have a point.
Yeah, he might.
Yeah. I don't know much about crime in Ukraine or anything. Yeah. But as we look at this, we're right at the brink of war. Really, Russia has had plenty of time to consider this. They have 100,000 troops lined up there, from what I understand. we're going to send 8,500 to go up against 100,000. It doesn't sound like that's good odds. And again, they have planned this with detail. We've all seen how the United States pulls out and does things with the current administration. It is very scary. 8,500. We'll see what happens on this. This could turn ugly quick, but always keep in mind, as you look at these presidents, and Donald Trump is one of the very few that has never been involved in a war. And why are we always meddling into other countries' business? Well, there's money to be made off of war. Well, you've got friends that might have donated to your campaign that might get a contract for a government building of something for a war. It's payback is what that is. Why do we get in so many conflicts? Money. At the end of the day, they got friends of friends of friends of friends, and this is just cutting the red tape. There's money off of it, and they have people that like to make money off of it. Just something to think on there. That's a scary thing going over there. Lives can be lost, as we'll see what Joe does on this.
I hope to goodness we don't go to any kind of war.
I do too.
You know, it'd be awful, especially with the ones we have in charge.
Yeah,
here.
and you go, well, what about Joe? Well, Joe ain't leading us no way. It's somebody behind him that tells him what to do.
I wish they would
And we
let
don't-
that person be known.
Yeah.
You know.
He could have been a president before, or his people. But it's what they want, and we don't know what they... I guess what I'm trying to say, what their agenda is.
Right.
You know, if you've got a great military, it's big, you build it up, you've got it there, you may never have to use it. It's when you become a weak nation and don't put a lot into your military or respect them that other countries will test you. Carry a big stick. You usually don't have to use it. My thoughts. Now, you may disagree with me on all of that. Sarah Palin, are you up to date on all this?
Not I watched a snippet last night of her. I just know she's tested positive for COVID.
Yes.
You know.
Now, Sarah is a big against vaccination, and that again, that's her business. That's her choice that she doesn't want to do it. But a judge is really upset over the matter. She is suing the New York Times for slander, and they've had to postpone the trial. And the judge got kind of. I can't think of the exact word that I want to use that's politically correct with this. Kind of ugly because she did not have a shot, and it delayed and made everything kind of slower because she didn't have a shot in that judge's
What has
opinion.
the shot got to do with anything, though?
Yeah.
I mean, she still could have got sick.
Exactly.
She still didn't need to get around anybody, even if she'd had the shot.
Because let me
and
remind
got
you,
sick.
as you point that out, just because you get the shot doesn't mean you're not going to get sick. That's a misconception.
Or that you don't have to quarantine. So many people think that, though. I mean, I know it's like I'm going in a circle about that.
Well, that's the
but
truth.
I have people come in and go, I don't know why they just didn't get the shot. You know, so-and-so got sick. She just wouldn't get the shot. I mean, like...
You can still get sick with it.
I got news for you. If you hadn't got it yet, you just lucky. That's all I got to tell you.
Did we bring this up yesterday? I don't know. About people that don't pay their bills. I think everybody's bumped into somebody that, well, they'll go get something on credit and don't pay for their stuff. But you would think that a cruise line, you pay your money to go on this big Caribbean cruise for 7 days, 7 nights, would pay their bills. You're coming back into dock and somebody calls a ship and goes, hey, you didn't pay for that fuel over here. I wouldn't park your boat over here. They're fisting to take it.
Yeah.
And they go to another country to dock instead of the United States because they were fisting to get repoed. It happened to 700 people that were on a cruise. They owe $1.2 million in fuel. Apparently, they don't get good gas mileage if you ever wanted to own one. Can you imagine a fuel bill that high?
Well, I'm sure that's like repetitive, you know, not paying your bill. It's not just like one time, but yeah.
The name of the company is Crystal Sympathy. Is that how you say that?
Symphony.
Symphony.
Yeah,
I got that one all messed up there in my head there. But they docked in the Bahamas. Here's a picture of the ship here as it goes out of sight there, dodging its bills. Whoop, over to the Bahamas it goes. Now, I did not finish reading the story at the end to find out how they got from the Bahamas back to the United States where they were supposed to dock in Miami. Maybe they flew them back, or did they park and go, see you, figure it out yourself?
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Well, if they're skimping on the gas, they probably skimping on the food and everything else. So
can you still...
you might hear about them next year, like going out of business or something.
It's probably because they are going to repossess that ship as soon as it gets back in United States waters.
Right.
It's gone. Wouldn't you like to see a TV show about that, The Repo Man?
Yeah. Hey, man, I need to go get this
Have you ever watched
cruise ship over there on the dock.
Have you seen that one to where they go repossess the high-dollar airplanes of people that hadn't paid for their airplanes?
No, I've seen them do the cars, and there was this lady that, like, I remember watching a video of this woman. It was this lady and this man would go repo these cars.
Right.
And she went to a nail salon, and this guy comes out doing all this karate moves and, like, flipping, and, like, he's going to take her down. And, I mean, she just slams him. Slammed him. I mean, and then took his vehicle.
Now, I have seen them to where they hook to it and, pull it up in the air, and then they jump in the car and spin tires. And if you got a four-wheel drive, you got a fighting chance to get it loose from the truck.
Yeah.
But if you don't pay your bills, the suck-up truck will come, even with airplanes. Woohoo.
Goodness.
Small thoughts there. We've got more coming up, so don't dare go anywhere. We're going to update you what's going on here, around the world, and in the U.S. All happening right here. We got more on the way with Scotty Ray Candace. The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville are passing along these great savings this week. Mississippi sweet potatoes, 59 cents a pound. Red, yellow, or orange bell peppers, 2 for $3. Piggly Wiggly chicken noodle, tomato, cream of chicken, or mushroom soups, 26-ounce can, $1.39. Coca-Cola products, 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, 2 for $10. And certified Angus beef T-bone steaks, family pack, $10.99 a pound.
We're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
In an effort to reduce commercial crimes across our business community and improve the lines of communications between businesses and local law enforcement, the Meridian Police Department has relaunched the Business Alert Network, a crime prevention program also known as BAN. Through BAN, Meridian Police will educate and guide local business participants in the following crime prevention areas: crime reporting, robbery and burglary prevention, vandalism and theft prevention, operation identification, and much more. For more information about the BAN program, please contact me at the number on your screen.
And they got BAN out there. If you're wanting to hook up, you have a downtown business and you'd like to be a part of that, they've got a meeting coming on Friday, a Zoom meeting. And I posted that if you'd like to do that. And you can send in your information and be a part of that. I hope you can there. All right, well, let's take a stroll down memory lane and take a look at some things that happened in this day. Now, if I say this name, you're not going to know who it is because I saw the name in type and I thought, I don't know who you are. So I Googled it and I go, oh, I know this guy. Mm-hmm. He had a birthday on this day. I remember watching it as a kid. Remember Herbie?
Herbie, uh-huh.
Dean Jones, the guy that played the driver of Herbie, celebrates a birthday today. He was born in 1931. All right. So he'd be in his 80s there. But he was a pretty good actor. Enjoyed that show. Herbie was funny.
That was a cute show.
And didn't they do a remake with Lindsay Lohan years later?
Seems like they did something with her.
Seems like it. Now, I've gotten some of my years, and I glanced at the last second here. I've gotten some of my years out of order, so forgive me on this. But let's go back to 1961. If you've got one of these dogs, and they're mostly associated with a firehouse, beautiful dogs, they're good-natured. This came out on this day from Walt Disney. Who remembers 101 Dalmatians?
I do.
That was a good show.
It was.
Oh, Mama Dog there.
The version with Glenn Close.
Oh, it's Cruella?
Cruella DeVille.
She was tough.
That was cute.
Now, I played you a clip of this as we go back to 1975. On this date, this song was released. This would become, she was really, because she had just left Porter. It hadn't been long. Mm-hmm. She was out on her own, and this would become her 5th #1 song. And it was released on this day. And you go, bargain store. I don't remember that. It was a song that she wrote about her heart was broken, and it was in a department store, in a markdown store, to come by her heart. You could still good. 1975, The Bargain Store was released from Dolly. And what a great song it was. She could paint a picture about anything.
She could.
From Coat of Many Colors on up.
I love the Coat of Many Colors song. That's so sweet.
Joshua, who remembers that? The list goes on of things that Dolly painted a picture for us that only she could bring to life. Mm. Now, Muleskin or Blues was not my favorite, but it did put her on the map in the early beginning there, when country music was a little bit different. 1980, he would become the oldest person at that time, and it still may be a record to have a top 40 hit. He was 84 years old and had a hit on the charts, and I'm talking George Burns. Who remembers that?
I do.
I wish I was 18 again. If you were to go, and I hadn't listened to it in years, I'm sure that probably some of the lyrics now I might could relate to.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, he did that movie 18 Again.
Yeah, that's right.
With that younger guy. I can't remember what the guy's name was that was in it, but that was a good movie. I went to the movie theater and saw that when I was younger.
Whoa. Yeah. One day people are going to go, what is a movie theater?
I know.
I don't know what that is. That is coming. So let me ask you this as we look at this. Hands down, and you know, Kenny Chesney had a song about this. The one thing, what would you actually change just from the top of your head if you could go back? What would you change in life?
In life?
Yeah, because, you know, if you could go back and go, boy, I wish I was smarter back then.
Probably my career path.
Choose a different one?
Mm-hmm. I like to do hair, but I think I would have been good in a science field, I think.
Okay.
So, and I think it would have.
I can see you in a white lab coat.
Yeah. I was really good with science, so. I mean, that's just one of the things. I don't know. If I really thought about it, it might be.
That's tough to come up from the hip of what you would choose differently. I would end up the same place that I am. I would finish school, but I would still be right where I'm sitting today, no matter what. And that's a very tough one. I know I would be nicer. I think back as a kid in arguments that I've been in, I think I would approach things a little differently that way and not be so snappy at a younger age. I'm a lot calmer now.
Yeah.
But as a young man, sometimes your temper flies off. And I think I would back up on that.
I might agree with you. To
a degree?
I was probably, I know I was the same way. I would fly off at the drop of a hat a long time ago. But.
I was never a drop of the hat, but I sometimes lost it when I shouldn't have. and you know.
Well, I don't know. Not about just nothing, but like stuff
at your moment in time
would
there.
Send me over the edge, you know.
Did you just bump my buggy? I am going to rip your red head.
Nothing like that.
Yeah, sure.
I think more disrespect type stuff.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But we all, what was the song Kenny done? A lot of things different. And I think I really would. If you could be 18 again and have this knowledge that you have. Mm-hmm. And then there's one side of me that says, well, you got to where you are by the stupid decisions that you made. It made you who you are in the end. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I will say that things mold you. You know, they make you who you are. And if it wasn't for bad decisions, you wouldn't appreciate the good, things that come about in your life. So I think maybe we're right where we ought to be, and God put us there for a reason.
As I analyze it and I step back from it after I said all that, I do kind of agree with you on that.
Yeah.
You're led down. This was brought up to me last night of some people that were going through some hard times. And when you go through a very tough time, you don't get it. Yeah. And Angie said, and I have to admit, I missed church on Sunday, and the family went without me. And she said, Brother Danny preached on how God said that life is, and I wasn't there, so don't quote me, Brother Danny, if I'm doing your sermon wrong. But he described God as like standing on a building and a parade is going by. Mm-hmm. And from the top of the building, God can see what's in front, what's in the middle, and he knows what's coming, to where if you are in the walking parade, you only see what's in front of you. Mm-hmm. God knows all.
Right.
Give God a chance. I think that's a great decision. I'm where I need to be religious-wise.
Yeah.
But it's through bad decisions that got me to be closer to God. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do. So, I understand what you're saying.
Sorry I had to get off on a soapbox there, but I thought I'd bring that up.
You know how when you, I believe that, God opens doors and closes other ones, that are not meant to be walked back through.
Right.
So,
and sometimes the devil will try to crack that door to get you to come on back in. Right. Always remember this about the devil. He's going to be beautiful. It's going to be something that you want. It's never something ugly that is brought by the devil, because it's not enticing. Mm-hmm. It's got to be hot. It's got to be something that lures you. Yeah. That's the devil. Y'all watch him out there.
And just think, if one thing had been different in your life, you might not have had your children. You might not have had so I don't know. I don't like.
Sometimes you're mad because you're late for work or you do something, but then you get up the road and somebody had a wreck and you think, boy, if I'd been 3 seconds faster, that'd been me. Sometimes it's for a reason. 1905, they found the world's largest diamond ever. Hadn't been replaced yet. 3,106 carats. Now, I'm not sure what that's worth, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's a lot.
More than I got. Yeah.
1971, a court would meet today. They would put, I think, 5 or 6 people in front of them, and they would be found guilty. Charles Manson and his followers were convicted today. They should have been. He died right where he needed to die. 1975, now I got to say, I like the original version better, but they had a number 1 out of this. The Carpenters had a remake of Please Mr. Postman. It went number 1. Was it the Marvelettes? Am I right that had the number 1 song with it originally?
I don't know. I can picture them singing it, but I didn't know what their name was.
It had that soul sound to it. Boy, it was good. I liked it a little bit better than that one. That one sounded, I don't want to say the wrong word, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say maybe a little cheesy. Yeah, maybe. 1981, this old girl was born. She's a big R&B singer. Now, I couldn't name you any of her songs, but I do know that she's big. Alicia Keys was born on this date. Let's see here who else done something. Oh, I remember this also. It would take Jimmy Carter bungling things up for a few years there, and then along came this guy named Ronnie. He stepped into office, and these old boys and gals got to come home. 1981, the American hostages arrived back at home. That was a big day. I remember that plane, watching it on television back that day. Maybe Walter Cronkite brought me that. Been a while. And then a sad day in history, as she was such a lady and she set a way for ladies. She broke barriers for women. Mary Tyler Moore passed away at the age of 80 on this date back in 2017. She had
I watched her when I was younger.
Yeah, she was a great actress. Lou Grant and all those that was there at the paper with her. As we all watched that, it was a good show without a doubt. We enjoyed it, and she was a huge superstar in her time. She really was. As we turn to talk about cleaning, you've heard me talk about these folks. Well, they do it a lot. They do a real good job at it. Godwin Cleaning Services, and they invite you to get signed up on a basis here to get taken care of when it comes to keeping your business clean, your sidewalks, your walls, your entire building. They do this. They keep things clean and make you look professional, including Harry Mayer and the folks there get their awnings done. They can do your awning, too, a lot cheaper than you having to buy a new awning.
That's right.
Make it look good again. They have cleaning solutions that are perfect, soft wash. They do brick, vinyl, all of this. Window cleaning as well. They do windows. Florence may not, but they do.
I didn't do my windows.
Soft wash you there. They'll take care of your metal, all of that there, and get rid of any kind of rust that's on there, including your roofs. Let's put those back to the way they used to look as well, from shingles, slate, asphalt. They do a fine job. Find out how you can get on a schedule and have your place looking tip-top at all times. 253-8262 is the number to Godwin. They'll do rock, brick, all of this for you, including those sidewalks. See them today. Godwin Cleaning, 601-253-8262. See them. They'll help you.
I spent weeks in the hospital due to a careless driver. I could no longer afford to do it alone. I knew I needed help.
I'm Mississippi Attorney Richard Schwartz. I'm proud to represent the people of the great state I call home.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
Steve McKinnon said he'd probably turned out to be a teacher there.
Preacher.
Preacher. Did I say teacher?
Yeah.
I meant preacher. Where did that come from?
Preacher teacher.
Ann Blakely says that Mary Tyler Moore was a great actor with Dick Van Dyke. That was a good show.
Yeah, they were good together.
Yeah. So going down a memory lane there. Little outrage this morning across America. Nike, who sometimes give to organizations that I don't agree with, has fired one of their top execs. Now, he's vaccinated, but they wanted him to share all of his information about his vaccination on an app. He refused to do it, and they have fired him. Can you do that?
I don't know if legally you could do that. It sounds like a violation of their privacy.
The HIPAA may be involved? Boy. So that's a headline out there. As you look at this across America, what is coming at the end of this year in November when we have re-elections? There are a lot of people saying that people that are not a part of the Republican Party, when it comes time to vote and they pull the little curtain, will vote Republican because of their pocketbook. They're expecting a huge turnout as Bungling Joe cusses people and can't remember, and well, crime is at all-time high, and your hamburger meat is $15 for a pound now. All brought to you by Joe and Friends.
You know, and it's their own fault. I mean, they have cut their own throats with this because they continue to protect the man. I mean, and obviously, cognitively, something's wrong. I mean, obviously, something medically, it seems like medically wrong.
But you ask him, he go, "What are you talking about?"
Right, but
let me tell you the story about the hair on my legs when I was a
and the roaches
lifeguard.
Yeah,
and popcorn. Come on up here, popcorn.
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy to me, but how long are you going to protect somebody and let the country just continually go down and down and down and down?
Y'all know this. I've said this from word go. He's made it a year. Joe's time has expired, and y'all expect this very.
Well, they've already said they're starting to turn on him.
Yeah, it's coming. They had to leave him in there for a year.
They're fixing to throw him to the wolves.
He's gone. He's going to come up and go, "Hey, I got to retire one day." It won't be said any other way, but just, I don't feel good. I'm going home. Me and what's his wife's name? Jill.
Yeah,
we're going home. Eric Adams, who is the new mayor of New York City, says he's going to start action. Well, it's a little late, but I guess better late than never. Some things I agree with, but he is focusing and saying it's all guns that is the violence in New York City. That's not the case. How many times have we seen people pushed in front of subways?
Right.
Raped in broad daylight, people attacked with machetes. Sure that there are some guns. They got real strict laws in New York dealing with guns. And maybe they should there. It's a bunch, I don't know. Here in the South, we like our gun rights and our Second Amendment. But there's more to guns. It is crime.
Well,
you've got to have a DA to prosecute those people.
Right. And continuously letting people out of jail that did not need to be out of jail. I mean, just letting them roam the streets to do it over again or worse.
And we saw this during COVID when they didn't want people to stay together. Open up the door of the jail, let them go home, it'd be better. And there were a lot of people that were really bad criminals that were put on the streets.
Right.
As we find out this morning also, is that young police officer that was killed in New York. He was 22 years old. The person that shot him has passed away. Another cop pulled up and that guy was shot. His partner is clinging to life. Still hadn't passed away, but he's in bad shape. The gunman has died. I thought we would tell you that this morning also as news comes out of New York. This is a prime example right here, bottom line. Let's go to Los Angeles. The district attorney there, who is responsible for placing laws and convicting people, is blaming the railroad for not having their own security, dealing with the trains being robbed. The Amazon, we saw the pictures of that, where they went through and just tore up everything out there, ransacked the city. It's not the railroad's fault. The city did get out and clean things up. They've been hard at it trying to make it look like a third world country.
Oh, yeah, it was awful.
But
horrible. Not to mention all these people that were waiting on packages that will never get them.
Yeah. And if you make a mistake, simply, it's always better. And I learned that at an early age. When you make a mistake, stand up and go, "Hey, I did make a mistake." Because if you hide it, it festers and gets worse and worse and worse. He can back up. It's not too late to go, "I've made some mistakes. Let's put these criminals away." Right. But it doesn't look like he's going to change his stance on that.
So many times nowadays, especially if somebody gets caught with their, hand in something that they shouldn't have been doing, or they've made the wrong decision, they just blame somebody else for it. They don't take a stand and say it's my fault. It's always somebody else's fault.
Have you ever been on one of these new fancy treadmills, the Peloton? Have you been on one of those yet?
No, I have not.
Now, of course, they had that issue back there around Christmas or a little bit before where they were trying to say that it could hurt a child,
Come on automatically.
Yeah, and pull a shirt, you get hung on it. They're asking for the CEO to step down. He also hired his wife as a big part of the company, but they're saying that stocks and shares have tanked underneath him and he needs to step away. We'll see what happens. Got to be somebody with a better decision they're making there. Sometimes the president and CEO of a country, not of a country, but of a company, is not the person that really needs to be there.
Right.
Oh, and we got some sad news. I watched the show. It was pretty neat. Do y'all remember about the horse, Secretary?
Yes.
The Triple Crown?
Right.
The horse that portrayed Secretary has passed away.
Hey.
The name of the horse that portrayed... it was Seabiscuit. I back up on that. It was Seabiscuit.
Okay.
Passed away from colic. 24 years old. I thought horses lived to be longer than 24.
I don't know. I didn't know how long they live, but
But Seabiscuit, the one, and this is the horse that portrayed Seabiscuit here, passed away.
Popcorn Delights.
There you
Is
go.
that the name of the horse?
I believe so.
Popcorn Delights.
So that's what we have in the news today dealing with that. If you were a big fan of that show, you'll know it. Let's see here. And we go to the shame department. We had 2 preachers that we brought up yesterday that were not doing things as they should.
Right.
And I've always felt that if you are a man of the cloth, that you are held, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, if you're a man of the cloth, you're held to a higher degree. It's like if you decide one day that you want to be a deacon in your church and you become that person, well, people look up to you.
Right.
You do things a little bit better than everybody else. You watch your P's and Q's. Let's go to the Falwell corner. As news broke of this, a year or 2 ago? Mm-hmm. That maybe that his wife might have been fooling around with the pool boy that was 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, turns out all that's absolutely true. She's even admitted in an interview that she videoed it. She says the husband was not aware. It's very kinky and weird. That's all we're going to say. But they were portraying to be something that they were not. That's sad, isn't it?
It is.
Somebody will have to answer for that one day, is all I can tell you on that. But that is a fact that has come out today. And here's another example of if you do something, you can't get mad at somebody for telling you what you really are. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, right, yeah.
There was a lady who was a cop. Let's just say that one day she decided to go take some naughty pictures. Mm-hmm. She gets upset because all the guys in the police department said, you took some naughty pictures, and laughed about it.
Because the site, OnlyFans, right?
Yeah.
That site is what she put it on.
She was doing, of course, a bunch of people do naughty things on there and make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But she wanted to get mad at her fellow officers for telling it how it really was. You did it. Go on with it. That's all I can tell you. They just...
People, I don't understand people. I mean, why would you do that and then get upset because everybody's talking about it? Will you expect them not to talk about it?
Yeah. She said she was shamed out of her job. Well, if you hadn't have been doing that,
right,
you wouldn't have been shamed out of your job. Mm-hmm. And it was only you that felt shameful because, you did something that was shameful.
Yeah.
Duh. It's amazing how you put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4. But that's going on. That is, it just, some mornings I shake my head at what goes on and what people really think out there while others don't understand what they're doing.
I know.
Let's turn and talk about you being safe. And we got friends that do that also. Well, they got a business called the Precast Group, and they bring peace of mind when it comes to tornado season. Yep, storm shelters is what they do, and they do it very well. They make a lot of things out there out of concrete, from taking care of your horse and cattle. You need cattle gaps. They do that also, but they specialize in this when it comes to, storm shelters. They can put them on the ground. They can put them in your house if you're building one. If your house is already built, don't worry. It can be placed outside. Steel doors, solid concrete, weigh 20,000 pounds. They're not moving. They can show you pictures of all of this, of homes that withstood this, that have these. They'll be there, and it will protect you and give you peace of mind. You can even get them in the ground if you want to bury those. There's one in a hillside. They offer many, many different designs. Talk to them. The Precast Group, all made here in Meridian at 482-0003. They're good at what they do, and it protects you all at the same time. See them, the Precast Group, right here in Meridian. You'll be glad that you visited them.
Rock House Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Lots of different calibers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rock House will have the gun that you need. With a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rock House Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian.
I'm Ben from Greenville, Mississippi, and it took one call and that was all. I called my Mississippi attorney, Richard Schwartz, and he got me $600,000.
If you need me, Mississippi, remember, one call, that's all.
Gail Williams said that 24 is possibly pretty old for a horse. And you said somebody else?
Leslie Joyner said my mare will be 32 in June. That's above the average lifespan.
Ain't nothing like your old nag being 32. Whoops. I can see, as you brought up a while ago, as Candace said, that she may have lost her temper a time or two in life. And I can see you just really losing it on this one. Yeah. Let's say you're dating somebody. Y'all are like really, you in love, you winking at each other and texting all day. And he gets sick and you give him one of your kidneys. Yeah. After he gets out and you recover and everybody's all happy, you catch him cheating with the chick down the street that's been mowing the grass in the bikini with the push lawnmower. It didn't work.
I'm coming for my kidney. Get my kidney back.
It didn't work out so well for him. And it only took 10 months for him to think, well, you're not really what I like after all. Can you imagine doing that? Can't you have a little respect for someone?
I might not could take that kidney back, but he'd be...
He'd be paying for it from now on, wouldn't he?
He would be paying for it.
So that's a headline today. And this also, have you seen where the smoothie was chunked yesterday? A guy that was a banker from Merrill Lynch had a son that was allergic to peanut butter. And they go in a shop that sells smoothies. And he claims that when they made it, after he told them, they still put peanut butter in it. He picks it up, starts calling them all kinds of nasty names, and he picks it up and throws it at the waitress, knocks it all over. He has since been fired from his job. Things aren't looking good for him. He apologizes now, but he didn't do the right thing. I understand that your child has a problem, but you can't act like that in public. Yeah. He's remorseful for what he done, but it's a little too late for that. Think before you act. Also, if you're a criminal right now, think before you steal. Don't do it. I'm getting off on a soapbox today, aren't I?
No, I mean, yeah, think before you do something.
No, Pam Anderson getting a divorce.
Again?
How many
does that make?
This is like 5, maybe?
Lost count.
Bless her heart, her little bikini still don't fit her too good, but she's getting a divorce. Thought y'all might want to know that also here. Let's see here. Liz Cheney is trying to slam Newt Gingrich because he said, y'all just wait. All y'all that are trying to pull up all these charges against Donald Trump, wait till the Republicans go in office. Y'all all might be in jail. She didn't like it. Liz Cheney is not a popular person within the Republican Party these days.
I can't see very many people worried about her feelings right now.
No. If you're bored, you're a grandma, maybe you're in your 70s, and when you're retired, you're sitting at home and a scam artist calls you. Well, this one, she was really bored. She thought, I'll play along. So what she done was she invited the scammer to the house. He was trying to get money out of her. She just called the police also and had them wait in the house when he was coming. He was promptly arrested at the door. He was pretending to be her grandson. That call, I need money. Yeah. And she told him she couldn't go to the bank, come on to the house, and I'll give you the money. Right. They showed up.
Stupid.
Yeah, they got him, though. That's the good news on that. People trying to take from the elderly, you ought to be ashamed.
That makes me mad. It really burns me up.
In short, we got time for this one last story here. In California, a mom had a son that, well, maybe wasn't really masculine. He wasn't real masculine. He had 2 teachers trying to convince him that he ought to be transgender. Wasn't his thought. They told him, she's suing the school.
They were trying to sway him in a direction.
Yeah, and she's suing the school district there. So we'll see how that turns out. We'll follow that story there. Let's see. And quick, the oldest woman in America has passed away at the age of 115, Candace.
Oh, my goodness.
That is, I didn't realize that we had somebody that elderly in America. 115 years old. She was the oldest for 8 months.
115.
Wow. So there you go. We'd like to say thank y'all for coming by and visiting with us. Y'all have been an excellent audience with us today. A lot of input helped us out.
I know. And at some point, I'm going to get back to total normal, I hope. So, but until then, we hope y'all have a wonderful day.
I'm pulling for you, Candace.
I'm pulling for myself.
We'll be back in the morning, bright and early, beginning at 8 a.m. I'll be here at 6:30 to tell you all about the weather. And all day, should breaking news happen, a headline, we're going to be on top of it and let you know.
That's right. Y'all have a good day.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by